after hours, and we do have breaking news. John Harbaugh, this is according to Adam Schefter, John Harbaugh and the Giants are working to finalize an agreement to make him the next head coach of the Giants. Let's go! Giants football is back. When we're sitting here a year from now, we will be talking about Giants playoff football. This is an incredible hire. This is the right hire. This is the perfect coach to walk through that door and build a culture and teach this team how to win. The Giants next season are winning 10-plus games, and they are going to the playoffs. Because it's not about the roster. It never was. They have the personnel. I've been trying to tell you that for months. And you know who agrees with me? John Harbaugh. Everybody that said Joe Schoen needs to go, Joe Schoen will stand in the way of John Harbaugh wanting this job, incorrect. For everybody that was mad at me that said, oh, Tommy, you gave Joe Schoen a B+? He stinks. Really? You know who else gave him a B+ or maybe even higher? John Harbaugh. Because John Harbaugh looked at the roster that Joe Schoen put together and said, I want to coach that team. I want to coach that quarterback. I love that offensive line. I love that defensive line. I love Malik Neighbors. I love that running back room. I love it so much that I'm going to pick the Giants because Harbaugh had all the choices out there that you could ever dream of. And there's 9 to 10 openings, whatever it is. And John Harbaugh had the pick of the litter. He's in a unique situation that a guy with his resume and his stature gets let go by the Ravens, gets fired by the Ravens, and he could just handpick the team that he wanted. And he picked us. He picked me. He picked you. He picked the Giants. And now, what we've all been waiting for so long, because football and the Giants in this town has been horrible for over a decade. We now get stability. We get a winner. We get a CEO. We get a culture builder in John Harbaugh. This is a day of celebration, and this is a moment that we should all take in together because Giants football is back. No more 3-win seasons. No more, well, pack it in. I know it's only September, but the team stinks. No more watching the playoffs on our couches, other teams in January. Giants football is back. Let's go! And I applaud everybody involved. And I have to admit, I thought the Giants were too aggressive in their pursuit, and it might scare off Harbaugh. Hand up, I was wrong. Management, Joe Schoen, Brian Dable, Tom Coughlin, Eli Manning, everybody involved, tremendous job. And now I start to think about, okay, what's the staff going to look like? Brian Dable reached out to John Harbaugh. Maybe, just maybe, Brian Dable said, hey, I'll come in as your offensive coordinator. I'd be for that. I think that would be an awesome pairing. We know the work he did with Jackson Dart. He's got a great offensive mind. It sounds nuts, but crazier things have happened in sports. Mike McDaniel, love his offensive mind. He's a strong candidate. I didn't want Stefanski to be the head coach, but he could be the offensive coordinator. And Antonio Pierce, to me, is the right guy for DC. We know his ties to the organization. He's an alpha. He's a great leader, a great voice, and a guy that can walk in here and motivate Dexter Lawrence and motivate Abdul Carter and get this defensive line to reach its potential. The culture is going to change. The brand of football that we are going to see on Sundays is going to change. And I've been saying it ever since Brian Daboll got fired because I believed in this. I felt strong in my convictions about this take. The Giants have a playoff roster. They have the personnel. What they lacked was coaching, from the head coach to the offensive coordinator to the defensive coordinator. They lacked coaching. They lacked the culture that is needed to walk in every season and know we're going to win. Even if guys get hurt, even if the quarterback play isn't what we expect year in and year out, no matter what is thrown at us, we're going to win. That's what Baltimore was. That's what Harbaugh built with the Ravens. And that's exactly what he's going to build with the Giants. And in case you're just joining me right now and you're wondering, why is Tommy getting so loud here? It's, 10 minutes after midnight. Come on, relax. Well, I'm not going to relax because Adam Schefter, and I want to give Paul Schwartz his flowers because he was the first one. Paul Schwartz, all signs point to John Harbaugh becoming the next head coach of the Giants. And then Adam Schefter followed up with, John Harbaugh and the Giants are working to finalize an agreement to make Harbaugh the next head coach of the Giants. That's what I'm excited about, and that's what we should all be excited about. Because the Giants are such a proud organization. They are a winning organization. They are one of the best franchises in the history of the NFL. And for the last 10 years or so, they've been a joke. They've been a disaster. And they have been, at many times, the laughing stock of the NFL. Well, no longer. Because they have a CEO, they have a program-building, adult-in-the-room head coach now. Not a coordinator that we don't know what he's going to be. We have a head coach. And what's even more exciting, it's going to be paired with, I believe, is the next great quarterback in the NFL. And that's Jackson Dart. I am so excited because I feel for it, and we've been through it, and there's been a lot of discourse, whether it's the Tommy DeVito stuff, whether it's the tanking stuff, whether it's losing out on this quarterback, whether it's hiring and firing coaches and hiring and firing GMs, and whether it's Joe Shane needs to leave, and whether it's, we can't stand it anymore. The Giants have given us so much agita. Well, we no longer have to feel that way because it has all come to a perfect situation here where we now have what you need in the NFL to win a Super Bowl. And I've always said this, and I will always say it. GM, head coach, quarterback. The Giants now have all three. And they're going to have all three for a very long time, in my opinion. Because I think Joe Shane has earned it. I hope if it hasn't come out yet or he hasn't said it, then he needs to get an extension. Because the roster and the team that Joe Shane put together, John Harbaugh wanted to coach. He could have went to Tennessee, where they have Cam Ward and they have a ton of cap space and a top pick. But you know what they don't have? A very good roster. Atlanta, they have a really good roster. You know what they don't have? A quarterback. The Giants have all of it. We just couldn't see it. I could. I saw it. I saw a good team. But I saw a poorly coached team. I saw a team that continued to lose one-score games. I saw a team that didn't know how to win. Winning in the NFL is hard. Year in and year out, not easy. Harbaugh, guys like him, Tomlin, Reed, McVay, and a few others, they make it look easy. It's not. It's not. But with everything that Harbaugh knows and he's been through, he can instantly instill that into this franchise. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And I don't think it's hyperbolic to sit here and say, next season, the Giants are going to win 10-plus games and be in the playoffs. I fully believe that in my heart. I do. And Harbaugh is the guy to get us there and to get the Giants there. And yeah, I said us, because you know what? We all go through it. I don't want to hear this we, us. I sat there and I sit there for every single game, and I've sat there and taken calls and screen calls from Giant fans that were so beaten down forever and wanted change so badly and just something, glimmer of hope. And we got it with Jackson Dart. And it was so exciting. But without the coach, Jackson Dart is just an exciting young quarterback that, in my opinion, would have never fully met his potential, not individually with stats, but winning. Eli doesn't win without Coughlin. Coughlin doesn't win without Eli. That's the way it works. It's the marriage. And we now have it. According to, and I want to give Paul Schwartz his flowers, he had put this out first. He was the first one on it. All signs point to John Harbaugh becoming the next head coach of the Giants. The Post has learned. That was from Paul, who obviously covers the Giants for the Post, and then Adam Schefter. John Harbaugh and the Giants are working to finalize an agreement to make him the Giants' next head coach. And then he wrote, barring a setback. Well, why do you got to put that in there, Adam? Barring a setback. Is that necessary? Barring a setback? Come on, stop. You don't need to write that. I think we know that. If there's a setback, there's a setback. It's not officially official, but in my mind it is. Yes! Sorry. It's exciting. And I want to just say that I know I was campaigning for Mike McCarthy, and I think Mike McCarthy would have done a great job here. And I always said, and I don't want anybody to think that I've somehow, now you're in the Harbaugh camp. Was always in the Harbaugh camp. I just didn't understand the disrespect for Mike McCarthy. That's all. And the Giants didn't want to go that direction. I think he deserves a job, McCarthy. He should get one. If I was the Titans, I would hire him yesterday because he knows how to win games. So it was never about, I wasn't going to just push McCarthy to the side because I'm not that kind of guy. And I would have loved it if I got the news tonight that Mike McCarthy was the head coach. And I equally love it, and I've been consistent on this, that if Harbaugh got hired, I would be just as happy. And that's exactly what happened. 888-808-1019. And I'm schwitzing a little bit. I noticed that. I got a little bit of the schwitz going on with the under the armpits here, and I'm wearing a gray shirt. I can just feel it. I just, because I'm so revved up here because I know what this football team means, not only to me, but to everyone out there, and how many years we've had to endure bad football, and a proud organization and a great organization with great ownership. They've had to go through it and hear what goes on. And it's fair. The criticism was extremely fair. But what is said on this radio station about them, what is said on social media about them, what is said on podcasts about them, they've had to go through that. And it's been tough. But now it all seems worth it. And sometimes the journey, you don't know why you're taking that journey. That journey that we went through with McAdoo, with Shermer, with Joe Judge laying down his sword and quitting on a field, with Brian Dable and the false hope of he might be the guy, and he wasn't. For Daniel Jones, maybe he's the quarterback to get us back to the Super Bowl, and he wasn't. And Saquon Barkley and all that we had to go through a year where we have Hard Knocks, and it made Joe Shane not look great. And it made John Marin not look so great. And Eagle fans laughing at us for a year as Barkley has a tremendous season, historic. They win a Super Bowl. Strahan's flying the Eagles flag. I don't forget, Mike. I know some people have. I don't. I'm sure he'll be flying a Giants flag now, too. But I remember that you flew the Eagles flag. So maybe go fly another Eagles flag for them and leave the Giants stuff to the people that actually didn't wave the Eagles flag. All of that coming off of what I thought 2 years ago was the worst season in franchise history. The year that they lost Barkley and the Eagles won the Super Bowl. In my opinion, that was the worst, and it was an anniversary season. It was the worst year in the history of the franchise. But it's not about when you get knocked down, right? It's about how you respond and how you recover. And when you consider getting Dart and getting Harbaugh, that is a perfect recovery an all-time recovery, and the Giants have now put themselves back on the map. The league is on notice. The division is on notice. And while we're at it, yeah, the Eagles are on notice. The Cowboys are on notice. And the NFL is on notice because the Giants are back. Giants football is back. And I'm just so excited that I got to be the one to give you this news. Now, disclaimer. If it falls through, don't be mad at me. That's all. And don't be mad at Paul Schwartz. I mean, he's a nice fella. Really nice guy. I've met him a few times out at Giants camp. He always came on with me with Summers and the whole deal. Very nice guy. Don't get mad at him either. And certainly don't get mad at Adam Schefter. I mean, you can get mad at Schefter. He could take it. But don't come after me and Schwartz because I'm really just the messenger here. I'm just giving you what these guys are reporting. And what they are reporting, and we'll get your calls here. I know you guys are lined up. Everyone's excited. We got another hour and a half here. We got a ton of time to talk about this. I just felt like I really needed to get all of that out there to you guys and gals. Paul Schwartz deserves his flowers. All signs point to John Harbaugh becoming the next head coach of the Giants. He was first, and then Adam Schefter, the Giants, and John Harbaugh are working out a deal, or they're finalizing an agreement for Harbaugh to be the next Giants coach. Let's go to Jake and Harrison. What's up, Jake?
Tommy, what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Dude, we're back.
Yep.
I mean, this is so big. It's so big.
It's not only big, and I'll let you finish here, Jake. If the Giants had really, and this is what I was trying to get across to everybody, they had already put in a lot of the work. John Harbaugh is not coming to a team that he doesn't think is ready to win. They had the roster.
Absolutely.
They did. Like when I look at this defensive line, why wouldn't any team around the league not want these guys? Like Dexter Lawrence, who I expect to be, get his head out of his ass, which he's had in it for the last couple of years because I think he's been sick of losing. Yep. So I think John Harbaugh walks in day one and that changes. Abdul Carter, who didn't reach his promise in year one, he'll get a swift kick in the ass from Harbaugh. He will be the guy that everybody thought he would be out of Penn State. This offensive line, neighbors, they're going to add another wide receiver, whether it's through the draft, whether it's through trade. And we have plenty of time to talk about that. I'll give you all my crazy takes on that. But everything is in place, the running back room, the offensive line. And John Harbaugh said, this is the type of car that I want to drive because it's ready to go. And it's ready to go 75, and I can cruise down the avenue, and it's just the best car on the lot. And that's the one I want to leave with. And you know who built that roster? Joe Shane. And I think I think he deserves a lot more credit than he's got. And I hope off of this, people actually realize that.
Yeah, no, he's like, especially through the draft, he's been a fantastic GM. I mean, getting Dart and Scadaboo and Carter in the same draft, I mean, you can't skip over that. And also, like, if Harbaugh hires the right DC, this defense is going to be top 5 in the league, and Brian Burns will be a defensive player of the year. I will stand on and die on that hill. I mean, he would if Myles Garrett didn't have the year he had, he would win it anyway. But it's like, and also I think what they should do at 5 is draft Caleb Downs and make his defense even better.
Yeah, I mean, and we got a lot of time to talk about. This is not the night for the draft talk, Jake, as far as what they're going to do. I don't necessarily totally disagree with you there. One thing I will say that you said, because it's about the staff as well, and I've thrown out and I've campaigned for Antonio Pierce, and I know, like, Teak, if you're listening, please reach out to Antonio Pierce. We want him here as defensive coordinator. I know he interviewed for the head coach. I don't think it was ever in the cards, and it's just he needs a little bit more, experience. He had a little bit of a cup of coffee with the Raiders, and hopefully one day he could be successful and be a head coach in the league again. I want him as the defensive coordinator. They need leadership in this locker room, and Harbaugh brings so much of it, but we need more. And Antonio Pierce, to me, is the perfect hire at defensive coordinator. And he's a giant. It's just, make it happen. Now, what would really be a twist, as I say that, I want Pierce. Could you imagine? This would actually be funny. Let's add a little levity here. I would actually, you know what? I love Antonio Pierce. And if this happens, hire him for something else. Just make sure he's in the building. Let me throw this one out there. If you're John Harbaugh, this is great for content, and I think just would be amazing to watch on the sidelines. John Harbaugh hires Brian Daboll as his offensive coordinator, and he hires Wink Martindale as his defensive coordinator. I mean, who is... I'm there for that. That, you know what they call that? They call that theater. Let's go to Mike and Brick. What's up, Mike?
Tommy, how you doing, baby?
Great. How you doing?
Listen, man, I'm so thrilled that if it's true that we just hired John Harbaugh to be our coach, listen, I had to step outside because I was in my house and my family's in there. So I just went into my car.
You don't want to wake him up.
To be able to yell like a maniac.
Well, give him a,
Listen,
what?
Brother.
You know what, Mike? Because I think it's a night for that. Give us a yell.
Yes.
Give us a yell. The floor is yours.
Yeah, baby.
There you go. Exactly.
We're finally back, baby. I believe it.
Mike?
I truly do, Tommy. I really do believe that this is a step in the right direction to what we have.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I don't know who he's going to bring in here as a coordinator or all that. I trust in the process. But right now, for me right now, like I just told you, when I went outside so I don't yell like a maniac inside my house.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Mike? I don't think you'd be
I had to let that out, man.
Yeah, I hear you, brother, and I appreciate the call. You're not a maniac. You know what you are? You're a fan, and you're somebody that lived through all of this like we all lived through all of this. And Giants football over the last couple of years has really been about, in many ways, the infighting amongst the fans and what's the right thing to do. Should they lose out? And all the stuff I would get with the DeVito. I mean, it became a situation where all we wanted, whether it's this coach, that quarterback, lose this game, win that game, what we all universally wanted was for the Giants to get back to being one of the best teams in the league and a winning team. That's it. We wanted to sit down on a Sunday. We wanted to take our pants off. We wanted to crack a beer. And if you don't drink, you wanted to crack a soda. And if you don't like soda, you want to drink some water. The chips, the wings, the pizza, the friends coming over, the parties, and not be embarrassed to watch the Giants. That's it. That's all we wanted. And now we have a supreme leader at the top. We have a CEO. We have an adult in the room. We have our guy and we have our quarterback. And we have the infrastructure and the talent and the young nucleus, in my opinion, next season to win 10-plus games and be back in the playoffs. Let's go to Dominic in Brooklyn. What's up, Dom?
Tommy, I'm so freaking happy. My generation talent. Bro, I can't believe that we got him. I thought we were going to screw this up the way we screwed up the draft. I want one more thing. Like you just said, I want Antonio Pierce as defensive coordinator. And then you know what? I want to kick the NFC's butt. NFC's butt.
Yeah.
Because it's been too long.
Dom, there is a team in Philadelphia. I don't want a piece. I don't want a piece. I want the whole thing. I want the whole thing. Because I've had to sit here basically since I was in college. I'm 40 years old. I know I don't look it, but I'm 40 years old. Where that team down in that dump has owned us forever. And we have had to be just basically a doormat for them. I don't want a piece. I want the whole thing. And I want it real bad, Dom. And I appreciate your excitement and I appreciate your passion. This is a great night. This is a night of celebration. And I'll also say this too, Dom. You mentioned generational talent. Not a lot of news breaks. Late night, after hours, around midnight. I mean, I get the gig in a weekend. We have this moment. You're welcome. See, these are the things that Positive Tommy can bring. Even when I'm not in full Positive Tommy mode, which I will admit, I'm more of the Positive Tommy between, right around early April till about hopefully late October. That's the prime of Positive Tommy. This is more of the off season for Positive Tommy. Positive Tommy, because he's allergic to wintertime, can be in hibernation. But you know what? Positive Tommy has been woken up. He's been woken up out of hibernation. I'm back from Florida. I was down there playing Pinochle and Uno and Bocce. But now I'm back. And a week or so into the gig, during my show, the news breaks. Coincidence? Of course not. When I went on the Rico about a year ago, when Juan Soto signed, the second I signed on to the podcast, Soto signed. These are not coincidences. This is generational talent. This is future of the business. This is future of the radio station. This is my gift to you. That's what, and I'm happy to give it to you. The gift, that is. We don't want anything out of context. I'm happy to give you a gift. And the gift is me. And me is bringing positivity, and also good fortune. Because I got you Soto, and now I got you Harbaugh. You're welcome. 888-808-1019 is the phone number to call. Let's go to Ray in Bradley Beach. What's up, Ray?
I just heard the news from friends and phone calls.
Ray, why are we whispering? Why are we whispering?
I'm in the house right now. I want to be excited, but
who cares? Who cares? Wake them up. No, but Ray, let me ask you this, Ray. So you have is it wife, children, cat? Who are we trying not to wake up?
I have a wife and children.
Okay.
Yes.
Are your children and wife Giant fans?
Yes.
Wake them up.
Yeah, I had 2 dogs, and one dog was named Taylor, and one dog was named Tiki.
Oh, is that true? Nice.
Yeah.
I would say this, Ray. If I was there, I assume they're younger because they're asleep. If I was them right now, I would love if my father woke me up to deliver this kind of news. When I was a sports fan back in the day and I had to go to sleep, I would have loved if my father or grandfather woke me up and said, "Hey, you'll never guess, blah 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 happened." So I think, Ray, you'd be Father of the Year. Go wake them up. You don't have to whisper.
Go wake them up.
Yeah, don't whisper.
I am so excited. You have no idea.
I know, but it sounds like you're whispering. So
have a good night.
All right, Ray. Go wake them up. I'll wake them up. I don't want nobody should be sleeping. This is the city that never sleeps. Except it slept a little bit during 2020. I always used to say this was the city that doesn't sleep except for 2020 because the city got a couple kids and they went to bed early. You know what I mean? But then we're out of that now. I go in the subway and it's packed. So there's no more 10 feet. This is a night where everyone's got to wake up. Don't sleep. 24 hours. We got you covered here on WFAN. I got you for the next hour and a half. Al Cintron's coming up at 2 o'clock. Al and Jerry are coming up at 5. Boomer and Gio, Evan and Tiki, Carton Show, and then guess what? Full circle. I'm back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I probably won't sleep till then. No, I will. I need to sleep. But I'll be it'll take me a while. I'm not going to sleep right when I get home. What a night. What a moment. And this is what makes radio great, to just experience this together. Michael's in Brick. What's up, Mike?
How you doing? I just want to say I'm overjoyed. He's got a 61.4% career winning percentage over 18 years. That's way better than our last 10 years winning percentage. He has a winning playoff record. He's a special teams guy. After watching Younghoe Koo kick the grass and not make contact with the ball, I'm thrilled to know we have an A+ special teams
You're right. No, that's a great. You know what? You know what, Mike? And I haven't made that point yet. And it's a brilliant, brilliant point by you. Harbaugh, and we know that, look, I've been a defender of Joe Schoen. One thing I can't defend is the specials. The special teams have been hideous, and that's really where Harbaugh shines. So you're right. That is a great point by you, and that is a huge deal because how often do games, especially Super Bowl winning teams, how often does it come down to a kick and special teams? And know with Harbaugh, it's going to be spot on.
A lot. And I know you're a defender of Schoen, but I got to tell you, out of the last 38 games, he has 4 quality wins on his resume. Those week 17 and week 18 wins the last couple of years,
no, I know,
don't count those as wins. Those are hollow wins. He's got 4 quality wins in his last 38 games.
But, Mike, and it's not a night to argue, but I would just lay it out the way I've always laid it out. And I think John Harbaugh agrees with me because first of all, a couple things. Upper management agreed with me because they kept him. And then Harbaugh came here, and Joe Schoen is the GM. And a lot of people thought Schoen would be in the way. He'd be like a roadblock. It ended up not being the case. When I look at, you brought up, I can't argue special teams, but what I can argue is how great the offensive line was. And he's built this line outside of Andrew Thomas. How great the defensive line should be, and I think it will be now with Harbaugh. How great has this running back room been, especially when you consider they lost Barkley? They've done a heck of a job replacing him. The quarterback, which we all love, Neighbors, and I think they're going to add another wide receiver here to get that kind of dynamic duo. There's a lot to like about the job Schoen has done.
If you look at the formula, if you look at the Harbaugh formula with the Ravens, the bruising running game, we got that with Scadaboo. A mobile dual-threat quarterback with Dart, we got arguably the best young dual-threat quarterback. I think the formula is set, and we're ready to rock. 10-plus wins next year, guaranteed.
I love it, Mike, and I'm 100% on board with you. 10-plus wins, playoffs, Giants football is back. It's what we've been waiting for now for well over a decade. Structure, CEO, proven winner to go along with the young franchise quarterback. And now I could sit here and I can, because this is what, to me, I was a jealous football fan for way too long, where I would watch teams and go, oh, so that's what a touchdown looks like. That's what an offense looks like. Oh, that's what 20-plus points in a game looks like. That's what playoff football looks like. And now, with what the Giants have here, with Harbaugh as their head coach, and if you're just tuning in, Paul Schwartz had it first. All signs point to John Harbaugh becoming the next head coach of the Giants. And then Adam Schefter said that the Giants and Harbaugh are working to finalize an agreement to make him the next head coach of the Giants. So that's why we're talking about this right now, as if it were fact, because it basically is. We now can sit back, put our feet up, and say, for however many years that this duo is together, the Giants will be a playoff team year in and year out. 888-808-1019 is the phone number to call. It is after hours. It is Luggie in the late night. It is Tommy Lugauer. The Giants are finalizing a deal to make John Harbaugh their next head coach. We will have more breakdown on that, more of your calls, more of your excitement. I got you for another hour and a half. It's Tommy Lugauer here on The Fan.